Well, the controversy over the use of facial recognition technology at Madison Square Garden is widening. The garden and its owner, James Dolan, have been under fire for using the technology and denying access to shows and sporting events to attorneys whose firms are involved in litigation against MSG Entertainment. James Dolan spoke exclusively to Good Day New York yesterday, and he also explained his reasoning.
If somebody sues you, right, that's confrontational. It's adversarial, and fine. People are allowed to sue, right? But at the same time, if you're being sued, right, you don't have to welcome the person into your home.
She is now facing pressure from State Attorney General Letitia James and separately from some New York lawmakers. They've introduced a new bill that would ban the practice of denying ticket holders entrance to MSG events. One of those lawmakers leading the charge, State Senator Brad Hoylman-Sigal. He's joining us this morning. State Senator, nice to have you here.
Good morning.
So why are you focusing on this?
Well, it's an outrage. I think New Yorkers understand it in their core that they should not be denied entry into Madison Square Garden simply because a lawyer happened to work for a firm that has a client that is suing James Dolan. It's just unfair. It is unacceptable. And to use facial recognition technology to profile fans as they come in, treating every fan like they're a suspect, well, nobody should stand for that.
So, Senator, your ban would basically extend an 80-year-old law, right? And that law, facial technology recognition, was not even thought about 80 years ago. Does Mr. Dolan have the right, it's a private entity, to choose to keep lawyers out who are suing him?
Well, Mr. Dolan, he wants to treat Madison Square Garden as if it's his private property, and it is. Well, I say to James Dolan, if it's your private property, why don't you pay property taxes? Over the last 40 years, we have, as New Yorkers, paid close to $600 million in property taxes to subsidize Madison Square Garden. We deserve better from James Dolan.
He said that basically a lot of the sports teams and venues have a lot of tax abatements, and then if you want to take it away from everybody.
Well, the tax abatement that was passed 40 years ago was supposed to last 10 years. So we've got 30 years on top of that. Look, James Dolan, I don't think any New Yorker should trust him with their personal data. The way he held up a sign on your interview yesterday, a good, hardworking civil servant who works for the State Liquor Authority, I found it unacceptable. I mean, talk about being born with a silver foot in your mouth. That was the way I described your interview yesterday with Mr. Dolan.
I got to ask, because I know some things you tweeted about were saying that New Yorkers should not be subject to surveillance at their home, their work, or concerts. Do you agree across the board? Would you throw in sporting events in there as well?
Well, that's what our bill does.
Yeah.
Our bill adds sporting events to the exclusions that New Yorkers can't be denied entry into theatrical performances or musical performances. We're going to add sporting events, so no longer can James Dolan, based on his personal whim, based on his retaliatory attempts to threaten attorneys from suing him, keep fans out of Madison Square Garden.
I think the USTA might have a bone to pick with that, because they have thrown out, I think, 19 courtsiders at the U.S. Open. These are people that are going in wearing disguises, that are helping place bets for people to have an edge. I mean, they're kicking them out for trespassing because they're doing something wrong. Is that still okay with you, or?
Well, I'll say this, Madison Square Garden has said on the record that the reason they are screening fans with facial recognition technology is for the safety of all of the fans, and that's just not true.
Well, that happens in every building. I mean, apartment buildings, office buildings, I mean, we're all going through facial recognition right now.
Well, here's the thing, Rosanna, who is scraping that technology from the internet? What are they doing with that information after it's been used? And why would any New Yorker want to be treated like a suspect for the rest of their lives? Also, facial recognition technology has shown to be up to 98% inaccurate. It's biased against people of color, women, children, and transgender folks too. So it is an ineffective and really dangerous technology that needs to be stopped. We're sending a letter today to both commissioners at the NHL and the NBA urging them to sanction James Dolan unless he ceases his use of facial recognition technology for non-security purposes.
All right, so this is breaking news. This is what you're going to do today. In fact, you have the letters.
I have it right here.
Okay. And they're going to, let's see this, Commissioner Adam Silver for the National Basketball Association. And do you have the other letter?
It's
okay. Okay.
both.
Oh, and Commissioner Gary Bettman. Okay, gotcha. And you're asking them. You know, the thing is, Jim Dolan yesterday on this show, he said to me, there's so much going on in New York City. There's so much crime. Why are you focusing on this and not what's going on in your neighborhood? Let's face it. The area around Penn Station and MSG, sometimes you feel like you're taking your life in your hands as you're walking around. A lot of homeless, a lot of drug addicts. And now Jim Dolan is saying you're using what he's doing now as a solicitation for your reelection.
Well, I'll say
Is that
this.
true? Because there is some kind of, I think we have it, if you can roll that information, for your campaign using the Jim Dolan.
Well, I'm glad Jim Dolan's concerned about crime. I mean, because I think he's breaking the law. The Attorney General suggested that yesterday. The Manhattan District Attorney is investigating Madison Square Garden's use of facial recognition technology. It is just unacceptable that a mom with a Girl Scout troop would be denied entry into the Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular because she happens to work for a law firm that represents a client that may be adversarial to Jim Dolan's financial and legal interests. Who can accept that? This is a man of enormous privilege. He gets a huge tax break from the state of New York. He gets licenses from our state liquor association. He has a special permit, by the way, which is up for renewal from the city council this year alone. I think Jim Dolan should treat New Yorkers a lot better.
A question about the law, though, because I know it does not prevent venues from refusing to sell tickets to certain individuals, but they cannot refuse entry to those that arrive with the ticket. So what happens if, you know, that mother or someone that works for the law firm wants to type in her name and buy a ticket, and she cannot? They're legally allowed to do that. If she shows up with the ticket, they can't deny her entry. What's the difference there?
Well, the difference is that he broke the law in denying her entry after she had purchased a valid ticket and presented it, and that's the subject of litigation. Now, who is next? Who's going to be barred from Madison Square Garden next? Journalists? Competitors? Government officials?
I would think that you might have a problem. I don't know. My instinct's telling me, Senator, stay away.
Or maybe I should test it.
But we do have this letter that you're sending out to your constituents. And basically you're using the Jim Dolan thing as a way to raise money for your campaign. This is it. I mean, does that kind of convolute what's going on?
No, because I think my constituents need to know that they have elected officials, and many of my colleagues, including our local council member and assembly member and State Senator Liz Krueger, stand up to bullies like Jim Dolan, who are subsidized by the taxpayers of New York handsomely. By the year 2030, that tax break is going to be worth $1 billion. I don't think there's any sports team in the United States that has received a $1 billion subsidy.
I don't know. I'm not good with adding, but I will tell you this. You know, people love to hate Jim Dolan, okay? But not a lot of people are saying what he's saying is wrong, and wondering what Albany is doing. We have a crime problem here, and nobody in Albany is talking about changing the, you know, social justice reforms right now. Why aren't you guys talking about that? It's like, Mom, you know, the mayor's gone up there to Albany begging you guys to make some kind of change in the bail reform, and all we hear about is Jim Dolan.
Well, I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. I mean, I think this is an important issue because this is about civil rights and civil liberties.
Well, he's saying those lawyers are representing people who are ticket scalping, and after the whole Taylor Swift debacle, that's a problem. Nobody likes ticket scalpers.
It's not just ticket scalpers. It's a whole range. There are over 90 law firms that have been banned from Madison Square Garden and other entertainment venues they operate. But, you know, with regard to the issue of bail reform and crime. Of course it's an important issue. That's why on Monday, Rosanna, we are having a hearing joint between the Assembly and the New York State Senate to review crime data to see where we stand with our bail reform laws, which were so important in bringing social justice, as you say, to so many New Yorkers. Let's see what the facts say. We want to be driven by data, not by emotions.
Okay, so when you walk around your area, because you're around Madison Square Garden, what do you see?
Well, there are a lot of problems. And of course, mental health has to be at the top of the agenda. That's why I'm glad Governor Hochul has pledged $1 billion in her State of the State address to address mental health concerns, including building supportive housing and affordable housing for New Yorkers. I support that strongly.
And I think that New Yorkers would just like to see the, Letitia James get behind something like that as quickly as she did with something like this. Because when you're saying that these are things that you have to take care of, maybe this may not be at the top of the list.
Well,
because you can't have everything at the top of the list.
Well, there are a lot of issues, and we have to address them as they come up. And when you have constituents who have been banned from venues simply because of where they work, you got to take action. And this has been going on for years. Remember Spike Lee? This kind of behavior is from someone who receives such largesse from the taxpayers of New York. I find to be abhorrent, and that's why we have to take action.
Well, today this letter is going out. Do you hand deliver it? How do you handle a letter like this? Do you have a messenger?
Email might work.
Yeah, because you might not be able to get into MSG to hand deliver that one.
Yeah. All right, State Senator Brad Hoylman-Sigal, nice to meet you in person.
Likewise.
Yes.
We hope to see you back here. We're going to keep an eye on this.
Sure thing.
We're going to keep an eye on crime because I'm telling you, scary in your neighborhood.
Well, let's see what happens on Monday with our hearing and when we look at the data.
The walking and chewing the gum at the same time.
Yes,
we like
exactly.
Thank you.